Hey everybody, it's me, Russ. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah!
My glasses on straight. Huh? Welcome to the channel. Extreme close-up. My name is Russ Shaw. Thanks to Tony, two from the trunk Tony, out there in East Coast, Pennsylvania, in the La Hacienda with his queen. Here we are on the West Coast, Seattle metro area. We're in the mini mansion and lady of the house right over here. I'm going to get into it. All right, cassette tag. These are some questions from Tony. And then some other people added some questions, which is awesome. And we'll get into that too. Why do you collect cassettes? Question number one. I like them, you know, and they're cheap. But not just that, but I got out of vinyl and into cassettes when I was a teen. I wish I would have just kept my records and then did what I've been doing lately is I'll put my records on a cassette and you take the cassette with you or the streamer. But I don't really have a good streamer system in my current work donkey, so I just put them on cassettes and pop it in the cassette player because my work donkey has one of those. So that's why I collect cassettes. Also, it's sort of to get on a personal note, I kind of didn't like being at home a lot as a younger man. I liked to be out with my friends. Once I got a car, I could fix a car and get a car running. I was away from home as possible most of the time. Just the way I grew up, I suppose. Felt a lot better out on the road, out on the open road and behind the wheel of a car, which tape decks are just way more, you know, you didn't have CD players back in the 80s as much. If you had a CD player in your car in the mid to late 80s, you had some money. That's for sure. Number two, show your favorite artist or band on cassette. I have a hard time with the favoritism thing, you know. I don't really have a favorite artist or band. It depends on the genre. It depends on a lot of things. But I figured I would pick this band because they've been sort of a staple in my life. You know, classic rock stuff, because probably the first band that I really thought, I remember one of those weird moments in my life where like independence, right? Like, this is my music. And my parents hate it. So I'm going to pick this band as my band. And this is AC/DC. So that'll be how about that as my favorite band historically in my life. This is a cassette tape of 74 Jailbreak. I had a lot of cassettes that I lost over the years and starting to collect them again. Found this one. It's in great shape. Sounds pretty good. 74 Jailbreak. Boom. That was a good find. Show your best sounding cassette. Oh, we listened to this morning, didn't we, love? I was playing it in the bedroom and like, it's hard to tell if this is a record or a cassette. Like, it sounds that good. It's The Doors live. And amazing. It's funny how The Doors, as far as audio quality stuff, not counting my audiophile records, you know, or audiophile pressings, I've got a Doors copy of Morrison Hotel that is probably my best sounding record in the collection, but this is my best sounding cassette in the collection. But the funny thing is, I think it's a 2-tape set, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. No, yeah. Cassette 2. So it was a 2 cassette set. This is like 8. And it's pretty long. Like, there's a lot of tape in there. If you look at the reels and stuff, like, that's a lot of tape. And it sounds incredible. I don't even think it's metal. Is it metal? I don't know. 1991. So this was after, you know, I was into CDs at the time. I don't remember where I might have got this at Daybreak, actually. It's got the cool kind of fold out thing. Cassette 2. I don't know where cassette 1 went, to be honest with you. As a reminder, if you like the video and you made it this far, like the video. Just like the video. It's right down there. Yeah, look at the price on this one. Question number 4, show a noise cassette. I don't know if that's like sound effects or something like that, but this was interesting find. I also found this, I believe it's when I was a Ford tech. I worked at a Ford dealership during the pandemic as a mechanic, and this, I forget where I saw this, thrift store or somewhere. I found this as a music system reference standard. So you got some songs on here to crank up in your, whether you got a Mustang or a F-150, I don't know. Everyday people. Everyday people. Yeah. Hold Me Tonight. And what do we got on this side? Oh yeah, I got some other ones on that side too. Lily Was Here. I Will Always Love You. So Close. Yeah, anyway. So that was an interesting one. As far as noise cassettes go. To, you know, you get this with your brand new Ford back in when you had cassette players and Fords. And you could hi-fi out your Ford. Test that awesome audio right there. Question number 4. Biggest cassette find. Ooh, this was recently. This would be a 2024 cassette find for me. And again, at Daybreak Records, I waltzed in there and they got like a little section of rare cassettes. And I did a video about this too. The Dead Kennedys in God We Trust Incorporated. Now this is special and rare because it has the original alternative tentacles label on it. So this is before the Dead Kennedys were signed to IRS Records, and this is an original. And it also has this on it, which are pretty dang hard to find. They're out there, and I got this one, right? Ain't gonna see a big record label say that. Home taping is killing the record industry. Profits. We left this side blank so you can help. That's Jello Biafra. That's some of his stuff there. Amazing find. I did a whole video on that one, so I won't get into folding it out for you. Show a mixtape. So this is one I made over last summer. I think this is during the pandemic when, you know, there wasn't a lot to do, when I was in between mechanic jobs at the time. I made this. I spray painted it. It's a regular TDK tape, and I used like painter's tape on the bottom here so the paint didn't get in there. And then I put I just put a square over this one and then a circle around it, cut it out with a razor knife and painted this cool like gold and then the yellow speckles on there. But this is just a metal, a lot of different, you know, classic metal stuff on here. So there's that. Question number 6, best live cassette in your collection. Well, besides that Doors cassette, which is our best sounding cassette, this I found. So this I found, we got AC/DC live. Now, Walmart pressed a bunch of these on gold vinyl, and there was a bunch of these that were released for the 50th anniversary of the band, right? And I bought a few of the gold ones, and they don't sound great, to be honest with you. The old ones I have, the old copies sound better. It's cool to have a gold one, I suppose, but I didn't buy it, so it's a little spendy for me. But finding this one was really cool. This live AC/DC live, it's the same. It's got the Atco label on it, and it is the same, you know, same record, same cassettes as whoa. Oh, that one had a receipt too. Hold on. It's like that. AC/DC. Side 1, Thunderstruck. Side 2, it's got the big fold out. Okay, and then there's a receipt. So I bought this at Daybreak, and he in the collection that he bought of cassettes, and they were great shape, like hardly even been played, if ever played, with the receipts in them. April 16th, 1994. Yeah, that's right around Record Store Day, before Record Store Day was a thing. So yeah, this one had the receipt. There's a bunch of others that I bought from this collection for like a couple bucks each, you know, that he was selling them for. And they all have receipts in them from back in the day. So there we go. That's my live cassette tape record right there. Question number 7. I almost bypassed that. Thanks, love. Show a box set. Show a cassette box set. So I bought this. I did some videos on this one as well. This is a Record Store Day thing. 2021 Motley Crue's 40 years, 40th anniversary cassette box set. And this had there's a whole story behind this. This had a freaking magnet, right, attached to this here, which if anybody knows anything about cassettes, they shouldn't have a magnet there. And then this, that probably would have been okay if this would have been on the bottom, but this was on the top. So a bunch of us got Two's Fast for Love, and it sounded like ooh. So I did a whole video on that. And then, you know, a lot of us got angry, and then the record store gave us an address, and I exchanged emails with someone from Crew Records in New York, and whoever made the tapes, and they sent me another one. So they sent me that one to replace the one that sounded like crap. And they all know, like, the cassette tape quality itself is not great with these. I did notice this too, that when you have a cassette that's been magnetized, you can record over it. I mean, it sounds okay. So that's one thing you could do too. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So now I have two Fast for Love, so you just record from the record that I have. But it's cool. It's got all the, you know, the 80s Motley Crue, the big stuff, the big years. And so yeah, I'm gonna use this later in a minute. Another box set I got, I'll just throw this in here as far as box sets concerned. This was as a Stones fan, Keith Richards did a cassette tape release on Record Store Day, and there was only 500 of these made. And so it was cool that I was able to get a copy of this. Keith, talk is cheap. This is live in the Hollywood Palladium, December 15th, 1988. Keith Richards. Well, that's a sweet little box set right there. Show a portable or any cassette player. I got a cassette player here in the living room. I record on it. And then I've got my van. And then there's this. So this has kind of special meaning in my life because now this isn't the original one, but I had this model brand. I had this exact same portable cassette radio stereo thing when I was probably got it for Christmas or something when I was like 12. And I carried it with me until I was probably, say, 16 or 17, when somebody probably ripped it off or something like that. But I found this at the thrift store. We have a thrift store down the street, not too far from here. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get that. It's just nostalgic. It doesn't work, but a lot of memories with this. I took this with me to Alaska when I moved with my dad from here to Adak Island in the Aleutian Islands. I was kind of a troubled teen as a kid, troubled tween, and then I came back an even troubler teen. from living on a isolated military base during the Cold War, closer to Russia than mainland Alaska. Anyway, so this has a lot of meaning to me. I remember coming home and spending the night at my grandparents' house just after we got off the flight and listening to KISW on this. I was so excited, and it felt like home, right? Felt like home to turn on 100 FM or 99.9 or whatever it is now. KISW. Like, I knew I was home when I heard those call signs, heard that radio, put a blank tape in there and start to do the thing that we did, us Gen Xers, right? We know. There's my songs coming on the radio. So yeah, that's my portable cassette player. There you go. So now there's some few folks that added some other questions. A guy named Chuck, he didn't add any questions. I thought I mentioned that because he did one, and his channel's called Chuck. That's it. It's just Chuck the channel, which I thought's great. So check out Chuck's channel. And show a cassette with a cool packaging or one with a cool shell. Tommy had some extra questions too. I'll add some of those. But some of these, that's probably the best thing about this box set, because listening to it, yeah, man, I have cassettes, other cassettes that sound better. I don't know. It's just like it was like a money grab or what it was, but they still have pretty cool, like the Shout at the Devil cassette is on red. It's on a red shell. That's pretty cool. They're all different colors. Girls, Girls, Girls is purple. That's pretty cool. And Theater of Pain. What color is Theater of Pain? Is, well, it's white. So there you go. That's my some cassettes with cool shells. It's still a cool box set. Goes over there. Okay, show a cassette tape that's special to you. I'll throw this one out there. This is a Tesla. I like this. This is a fun one. Oh, this one has a receipt too. This is one I had as a teenager, and I wore this thing out. Loved this album when it came out. Tesla's Mechanical Resistance Renaissance. Wait a minute, Renaissance. Sorry. Love the cassette. Can't pronounce the name of it. It's been a long day. My favorite song on this album, probably that kind of gets me and makes this a personal tape, is that It's Getting Better.
But I know it's getting better, and a change is gonna come out.
It's getting better every day. Even whether it's getting better every day or not, it just seemed like a really cool message. I guess a positivity and hope. A lot of my music that I was listening to back then didn't have that. That song always brought me to a place that made me feel like life is it's worth carrying on, worth living, breathing, moving forward. Yakima, Washington is where this receipt is from. It is dated February 24th, 1989. Right there, I don't know if you can see that. Shop Knot stores? Shop No stores? Shop Knot, Tommy the Vinyl Knot. Series of, anyway, I watched a bunch of these cassette tags. There were so many good ones. Show your last cassette find. This is a good question. That'd be number 12 on this list. Let's see, my last cassette find. This one. I'll do a last cassette find and a second to last cassette find. I can't find my last cassette find. To be honest with you, this one was a close second. This is Muddy Waters, Rare and Unissued. It's a very cool cassette. Dana and I were listening to this when we went to a Mexican restaurant, right, Dana? Not too long after I bought it, on Chess cassette tapes, right? It's got the Chess label on the cassette. That's pretty cool. This one does not have a receipt, but it's the woman wrote on it. Like, it's cool to find records. Like, some people get annoyed by that. Like, somebody wrote their name on it. But I always like to think about the people that own these copies of physical media. And this one has like a little extra stuff in the back. Who is this? Melissa Forrester. Wow. Some calligraphy in there, the inside of the cassette tape. So that was a good find. Good old Muddy Waters cassette tape. Now it's bothering me what happened to the other one. So here's one that I found again at Daybreak, rolling in there, looking at cassette tapes. This is Vince Neil's Exposed from 1993. And it had some hits on it back in the day from the radio. You're Not Invited, but Your Friend Can't Come. I believe that was in a movie with like Pauly Shore. Wasn't that in Encino Man or something like that back in the day? That song. There was another one, Fine Fine Wine, that was on this. That was kind of a hit back then as well. And you know, it's pretty good. It's got some rockin' tunes in it. I like this record. I didn't really give it a lot of thought back then. This is when, you know, the Seattle music scene started blowing up, and I was like kind of enamored with a lot of what was going on here in Seattle in '93. But I enjoyed this as a whole album. Like, I listened to this like several times after I bought it, and it's a pretty good cassette, and it sounds good too. This sounds, sadly, this sounds better than these. Unfortunately, this album sounds way better. The cassette tape sounds way better anyway. And I don't know if any of you collect cassettes or haven't done one of these yet. I know that January's wrapping up, and I don't know how long these 2025 tags go, or let's call it a thread. I don't know. But I wanted to add a question. Maybe why not? My 13th question, which is also my lucky number, 13 by the way, would be show a soundtrack on cassette. Do you have any soundtracks on cassette? This is Cocktail, the motion picture. We also have the record. I think this is the original. Isn't this the original cassette that you had? Wasn't this yours? We've had this for years.
Yeah.
And that's Cocktail from when the movie, we saw the movie. Did we see it in theaters? When it came out? That was a long time ago. Have we met yet? I don't know. I'll have to look.
In 1 square mile of this saloon lies the greatest concentration of wealth in the world.
Yes. But how was a bartender gonna get his hands on any of it?
This is the big time. Are you ready for the big time, young Mr. Flanagan? Get the women, you get the bucks. And you can see the colour of their panties, and you know you've got talent. Stick with me, son, I'll make you a star.
This movie came out in 1988. Tom Cruise playing a bartender. It was all right. Elizabeth Shue was in it as well. And, yeah, it's a rom-com. And, yeah, Dana wore this tape out. I remember. This is like back when we were dating, too, wasn't it? Because I remember you'd play that. And it's weird how at the time with me, I was annoyed by that song. Don't worry, be happy. Landlord's gonna litigate. Just be happy. I call you. You think you're fine. You be happy. That's Cocktail. So there you go. So I don't know if anybody wants to do a cassette tape, tag, thread, whatever it is. I'll add number 13. I'll put the full list down below. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. This is the whole cassette tape thing. I haven't organized it yet, but I'm working on it. That's our whole cassette tape collection right here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace. I'm out. Bye.